Hey, welcome back, my Destiny dudes. Alright guys, so I'm going over week 5 of skill-based matchmaking and control. This is a recap. Now, with these recaps I do 3 very specific things, and key points are my personal experience, feedback I've been getting from others within my Discord, within random fire teams that I show up on LFGs, whatever, what their experiences are with it, and then I give my final thoughts on things and what I think maybe should be done moving forward. So, if you guys want to stick around for that, awesome. And before we go any further, I'd like to introduce you guys and give a word to my sponsor. As a coach and personal trainer, I wake up every single day at 4:15 to get ready. So you're getting a look at what my morning routine looks like on a daily basis. Cooking a little bit of food so I'm ready for my breakfast to get the day going the right way. And on top of that, I take my Prestige Lab supplements. Now, what you're looking at right there is Burn AM. I also use Test Storm. I have an entire stack of stuff that I use because this stuff is high quality and it works. They're manufactured by Whole Foods. They're CGMP certified. They are absolutely amazing. I cannot speak highly enough of them. They help me get through my day and have enough energy left over to have killer workouts. Now, here's the stack that I'm currently taking. It's called a 4-banger, but I also use the pre-step 1 to get me hyped up and ready for the workouts, especially after a long day. There are some days I work 12 hours, and it becomes a little bit hard for me to get going at that time. Now, after I've had my supplements, I'm good to go, baby. As you can see right there, this is me doing an upper body workout. This is a push-pull combination. I want you guys to see that I do all this on the regular. And if it weren't for Prestige, I would not hit this 1 rep max that you're looking at 440 pounds on this trap bar deadlift. So, part of my recovery is power greens mixed in with protein shake. Put it in the little shaker bottle and shake away. What you're looking at now is an amazing and good tasting drink that has awesome benefits as well as protein, amino acids, and immune boosting benefit for you, the person trying to get in healthier shape. I personally recommend all of these products because I have tried all of these products as well as other people that have tried them and have seen massive results in a short period of time. I want you guys to know something about Prestige that I haven't said or endorsed anything else before. They are the highest quality that is on the market right now. If you're using my code at checkout, Fitness and Gaming, you'll get 30% off. Alright, let's get right back into the video. So I'm going to apologize in advance for this video because my matches as of late don't line up with what my previous weeks have been. Let's just go from the beginning. Alright, so first things first. Personal experience. Okay, let me talk about that. I've got a bit of a difference from this week, week 5, than what has been happening in the other weeks. I'm going to talk about Trials of Osiris as well, because Freelance was part of the playlist. I had a blast with that, way more fun than playing Control this time around. I do have feedback from others, so I'm going to discuss some of the feedback that I've received from other people that are telling me their experiences. Seems to be pretty legit across the board. And then my final thoughts. So, let's get right into it. First things first, my personal experience with this last week of skill-based matchmaking. This is my current standings in Control. I'm at 0.2 or something like that. So Diamond League 2, whatever that means in Destiny, it is what it is, that's where I'm at. My games this last week have arguably been worse across the board, and I mean on every account. So the rest of this match, I started recording it, by the way, about halfway through the match, and this is what we ended up. It went to time, one guy stayed in because there is a quitter penalty if you leave. So 2 things that I've noticed is that people are now quitting certain maps, and I do believe it's the longer range maps. They just don't want to deal with a long range map. I believe they just don't have fun with that. Now the next thing that you're going to see is how long it takes for me to find another match. So I just came from a match that has the quitter penalty, but it also has people leaving anyway, despite the quitter penalty. On top of that, I'm also in a match that has, a lot of really good players in it. Like, it's been very tight lately. It's been different. Like, there was a week, I want to say last week, that the implementation of quote-unquote looser skill-based matchmaking seemed to be really accurate. But now, all of a sudden, my matches are way tighter. I'm talking like, if I'm at a 2.3 KD, everyone is around that by 0.01 or whatever it is, a very small percentage off. And it hasn't just been one match, it's been almost every match. So I don't know what's changed. I don't understand what happened there, but now I feel like I'm generally being a hindrance to my teammates if I do not run a fast, firing meta of sorts, because now people are good enough at that level that they can escape something that is not a one-shot kill. So your sniper shots better be perfect, your fusion rifle shots better not miss, because they're going to punish you, or they're going to win, because they're probably using meta weapons as well. That has been my experience so far in this last week. It's been different. I don't mind competing, but here's my second thought to this. I was playing Freelance Trials of Osiris, and I went flawless in Freelance every single time that I played as a solo player. Now you can make the argument that, oh well, because you were practicing against the super sweaties, when you went to play Trials that felt easier. I find that to be a little amusing because Trials is the endgame competitive PvP list that you're supposed to be going into with the hardcore competitive meta loadout. I feel as if I need my meta loadouts way more often than, in Control than I do for Trials. I was messing around with a bow in Trials. I was messing around with... I went flawless with a sidearm. I barely even took out my my pulse rifle at all. I didn't even use a fusion. I usually use fusion rifles for the one-shot kill potential. I didn't even have to use that this time around. So yeah, there's an argument to be made that it was Freelance and more people were playing that, I guess. There's also an argument to be made that because I was playing with better people in Control, then Trials felt easier to me because I was in a way different, more competitive mindset. But also I find that to be a little bit strange. That feels very flipped to me, very reversed of what I thought it was supposed to be. Originally speaking, Control as a playlist is designed for you to have fun. It's designed to be where you go get a weapon from, let's say, Trials and go try it over there to see how it goes. Or you get a weapon from PvE, like King's Fall Raid, and then you go use that weaponry in PvP to see how they transfer. By the way, I'm just now getting into a match. I think that was over 2 or 3 minutes, whatever it was. So it's been like that a lot. I've told you guys this before that I'm a dad and I'm a husband and I work full time and then I do a lot of other work on the side. I have a limited amount of time to play this game. It is a disrespect to somebody's time if they're waiting in a game that sucks, by the way, because the matchmaking is so highly tuned that it's either kicking people out or people are leaving because map rotation is god-awful. And then on top of that, I can't get into a match for 3 to 5 minutes depending on what they're trying to figure out for the algorithm to put me with whoever. So yeah, not a fan of what's been going on this past week. It's been a little rough on this side of it. Now, with that being said, let's talk about feedback from others. Alright, feedback from others. This section's honestly going to be kind of quick because from what I can tell, nothing's really changed for anybody else except for the higher end of players. Now, I do believe that they're having a really good time in PvP, and I think that's great. I do also believe that the numbers are dropping off a bit. So what ends up happening to, you know, the better players in the game is that they get stuck playing better and better players by a quote-unquote loose, now I don't believe it's loose, matchmaking system that's going to make sure that it's still continuously trying to protect players that are, you know, on the lower end of the skill gap. So from what I've heard, it's the same thing. They're having fun, but it's also exactly what you would expect. They're doing it so they can get their pinnacles, and they're just doing their bounties every now and then. Now, it's a little easier for them to do their bounties. It's a little bit more fun for them to do pinnacle grind and all that they're trying to do. And it feels as if the system of it all has been a bit flipped. And what I mean by that is, you know, we used to take PvE weapons into PvP. It seems as if they're trying to get PvP weapons and put them into PvE content now. So these guys are doing what they're doing. They're playing PvP so that they can get like out of bounds and something like that. And then they're trying to use those things in their other content that's PvE related. So I don't know when the flip happened, but that is what it seems like is currently happening. It does seem a little bit weird. Anyway, that's the long and the short of it. For feedback from others, thought you guys would find that interesting. Going on to my final thoughts, and I'm going to show some clips of Trials of Osiris. Alright, final thoughts. Also, what you're looking at right here, this was my one of my flawless matches, like Game 7. So, anyway, final thoughts for this week 5. I really do think that we need to start considering going back to connection-based matchmaking for Control. All I can say is it's been worse all around for most people that I play with. Even people that are not necessarily all that great, they were still noticing that there has been more lag, even if their matches do feel balanced. Now, they're not in it for the same thing that somebody like myself is in it for, so I get that. But at the same time, they are starting to notice matchmaking and connection and latency issues as well. So maybe it is time for us to go back to connection-based matchmaking. This has been a fun little experience, or experiment, or whatever it was. But let's be honest about a few things. There is no dedicated service for this game, so we are operating off of each other's matchmaking. It's peer-to-peer, and not everybody has the best match or the best connection in the world. So I don't know. I think that connection needs to be the priority over skill. And I don't know that lobby-based matchmaking is the right thing, and I don't know that skill-based matchmaking is the right thing either. A middle ground is supposed to be what they're going after, and I'm hoping that they're still learning or figuring out, and whatever the data shows for that, so that, yeah, we can get back to something that's actually more playable, as opposed to waiting in queue for 2, 3, even 4 minutes at a time just to get into a game for everyone to leave that game. But if you leave that game, you're getting punished with the quitter penalty. So what's going on right now is not effective. It's not ideal. I don't think what they're doing is the right way to do things. Just my opinion. I still believe that based off of this weekend with Trials, because of how well and how much fun I had with Freelance, the solar playlist, they need to add something like that for Control, because man, it was such fun. It really was. I don't have to worry about gathering a team to play a bunch of sweats. I can play sweats on my own just fine, but if I have to play a team on my own as a sweaty competitor, whatever, that becomes a problem, because I'm never gonna win that. There's no way. So I'm not one of those people that cares about my ranking in Control, but I do like to have fun. Even if I have to compete to have that fun, I'm good for that. I still think it would be more fun for everybody in general if we had connection-based lobbies, and if we had a freelance lobby, or at least a freelance area that we could all play in, because if it is going to be SBMM, then I do think that that is something that would help curb a lot of the problems that we seem to be facing right now. I think more people were going for that. Alright, so that's it, my dudes. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you enjoyed my little, talks about all this stuff and my upkeep of all this. I am really trying to put something on a timeline here, because I am curious what my experiences and what my feelings and what my thoughts and everything are the more that I go into week to week to week to week, because there usually is a transition that happens. I don't know exactly when, but there's a transition that happens throughout the season for all of Bungie's PvP, that eventually it becomes not necessarily unplayable, but it becomes incredibly challenging, even when it was just connection-based, because everyone's leaving the game to go do other things. And as of right now, it's week 5, I feel like that's happened more quickly this time around. So that's my thoughts on it. I feel like it's probably time for us to go back to connection-based matchmaking. They can make a big stink about it and be like, hey, look, we're adding this back in, and then I'll bet you anything more players will stay in the games, and probably for longer as well. Other than that, outlayer protection still needs to be a thing. I don't think level 1s should ever be matching me. And then, yeah, freelance and solo playlists need to be a thing for Control if you're going to keep skill-based matchmaking in there. That's the only way to make this fair, in my opinion. Alright, my dudes, thank you so much for your time today. Love all you guys. Remember to keep it zen out there. Also remember that Prestige Labs is in the description section down below if you're looking for quality supplements. It is 30% off with code Fitness and Gaming at checkout if you want to hop in and get a little bit healthier. Thank you so much, my dudes.